So we're back on the banks. Today you've joined me on the river, and this video is going to be a slightly different one. I'm going to be night fishing for pike. Now I don't normally do this, it's normally either a day session or a 24-hour session, but the weather's been absolutely perfect. Nice and overcast, we've had little bits of rain, but all in all the weather's been nice and stable. So I thought, we've been getting the odd few fish at night time on different venues. I thought I'd come down here. I've been quite busy today, so I thought I'd come down, do a night session and try my luck. Now it's about 7 o'clock at night, we're just starting to lose light. I'm here till about 8-9 o'clock tomorrow morning, so it's only a short session, but I thought just give it a go, see if we can catch anything. So without further ado, I've just set the bivvy and everything up. Now it's time to get these rods all set up, baited up, cast out, and then hopefully tonight we can get a few pike. Right, so this is the peg we're going to be fishing. I fished this one in one of my other videos I did on this river. I've just set everything up now, the rods. Now it's just a case of getting them out there. Want to be as quick as I can for an evening bite. It is the witching hour, so hopefully there's a few pike hanging around. My last session we only had one. I think we did a day session for circle hooks and we only managed to get one, so I'll get this one out there quickly. Just rigging up this second bait. I'm only fishing 2 rods tonight. Simple sardine. Light levels are dropping quite quickly now, so I want to try and be as quick as I can. So we'll get this one out here. Apologies for the actual brightness of these videos, because it was a bit of a last minute thing, to be honest, but I just fancy my chances for a bite tonight. Yeah, I just thought I'd come on a whim, give it a go. I'll put the drop off indicator on in a minute, but just let that line settle a little bit. Yeah, so I thought I'd come on a whim, give it a go. You never know what's around the corner. There could be a new personal best knocking around there tonight. Right, so that's them 2 sorted. I think it's time to get the kettle on, make a brew. Right, so everything's cast out. I'm only fishing 2 rods tonight. I've literally just come back from my syndicate water, and it's a non-disclosed water. I did mention it in some of my videos, in the pike videos last season, and I've just literally come off the back of 2 mid-20s from the lake, and I thought, you know what, I'll come here, give it a bash for the night, see if there's any other fish knocking around. A couple of friends of mine I've spoken to, they've had a couple of big fish, and I'm thinking it might be big fish weather, them coming through, moving. Now obviously that is on lakes. Rivers are a completely different kettle of fish, but the conditions are absolutely perfect. All in all, it's a witching hour, my favourite time for catching a big pike, so hopefully we can get some action tonight. We had, I think it was a couple of videos ago, a couple of sessions, sorry, we had, I think it was 2 at night time, and then we had some at the drains as well when we had the bad weather. So now till probably mid-November, it's going to be a good time for catching them at night, and then when you get to December, sort of January and February, on the venues I fish, nighttime bites are pretty much at a premium. You don't really get that much luck on there. Not to say you won't catch, but most of the time you're not going to catch any at all. So, and I'm looking forward to the weather cooling right down and venturing out to different venues as well, because there is a few places that I want to go and fish that I haven't fished before. Certain drains, I mean obviously drains, you can spend your life fishing drains and whatnot. There is a few drains I want to go to that I haven't fished before that have got big pike in, and we're just going to be doing what we normally do, going to the Trent, all different rivers and whatnot, and the aim's always the same, to catch the biggest pike we possibly can. So I'll fish on. Yeah, I've had a lot of rain for the past couple of hours. I don't really know what time it is, to be honest. Just getting a good night's sleep as well. Well, not a massive fish, but it's a fish, that's the main thing, that's why we're here. This is what we've come for. Right. There we go. Come on, mate. Only just hooked in the scissors, which is absolutely lovely. This is what you want. Come on, mate. Beautiful. Only just hooked. Absolutely perfect. Well, it's just started to rain, so what I'll do, I've had this fish resting for about, I don't know, 5 minutes. I'm just going to release her. I'm not too fussed about getting the main camera out because it'll be a bit of a pain, to be honest, to show you. Look at that. Look how lovely she looks. Look at the pattern on these fish. That's what you want to see. Lovely. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, the rain's starting to come in, so to set everything up it'd be an absolute pain in the backside. So I'll get another bait quickly made up and then we'll get it cast out. That's the one. Setup for this one was a simple running leisure setup, this one. And that did the business. Right. So it is 5 to 12, which isn't too bad. 5 to 12, so it's got plenty of time left till the morning time. Hopefully we can maybe get a few more fish. So I'm going to get some sleep now and see how we get on. Pike fishing at night can be very productive around October and November, especially when the weather is mild. When the fish are in the area, the bites can come thick and fast. Well, we've got another fish. This is definitely the biggest one of the session. Really nice female, and yeah, quite a long fish actually as well. But that is that's a beautiful looking pike. That is really nice, really dark looking one, and yeah, that's the biggest of the session so far. So I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to get her back as quick as I can, rest her for 5 minutes, make sure she's all right, and yeah, over the moon. Session's going really well. I'm winding all the rods in bar one. I'm going to leave the middle leisure one out for the time being, and then hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep, and then in the morning we can carry on from there. But yeah, that is an absolutely gorgeous looking fish. I mean, look at the gut on it. That's really nice. Beautiful fish, really nice. And that is fish number 2, an absolute beautiful looking pike, and I'm over the moon. So that's 2 fish today, and I couldn't have asked for any more. So what I'll do now, I'll get that right hand rod cast out, fresh baits, and then we'll start a fresh day tomorrow. To be honest, I was convinced we was going to blank tonight. You know, when we hit darkness, we wasn't going to catch anything, but it seems that the odd fish is moving around, and I am over the moon. What a beautiful, beautiful looking pike. Well, good morning, and it's about 7 o'clock. It's that time of year at the moment. You need the weather to cool down a little bit to locate the fish in certain areas, or get them moving a little bit more and staying in areas. And you do get quite a few bait fish knocking around this area because people come down, do a lot of match fishing, putting the bait in, keeping the bait fish there, and then obviously it keeps the pike around. So yeah, at the moment I don't know what to expect. We've got a few hours left. I'm happy with what I've had, and I think after that rain last night, at first I thought it might affect the fishing a little bit, but the river's come up a little bit since we turned up last night. But all in all, it's fairly calm. It was running off a little bit earlier on, and we did have a little bit of action on the right hand rod. There was a few bleeps, and I don't know if it was an eel or possibly a pike maybe investigating the bait. But I am due a recast. I always like to do a recast when I wake up first thing, in case there's any pike in the area. I can just quickly recast the bait, and sometimes I've had it where I've cast at exactly the same spot, and then literally within minutes the rod's gone off. So without further ado, I've just had my first cupper of the day. It's now time to get a recast going and see if we can get any fish in the bag. So I've been getting a lot of questions from people asking me about what peg to fish on the river, where's the best place to fish on their particular venue. Now, most of the time you can fish near bridges and structures and snags and things like that. They can be productive, but to be honest, everybody does that, and the fish get hammered, and most of the time you'll find they're not really around those particular areas. Now, what I tend to do on my sessions when I'm on rivers, I try and find an area where there's not huge amounts of anglers fishing, if I can. Reason for that is because I've got a lot of water in front of me, I can place my baits out and I haven't got to be worrying about lots of angling pressure. The more anglers you've got nearby, the more it will basically sacrifice what you're going to catch. So a prime example would be, I've turned up to this river yesterday, I've had a good look around, no one's fishing, it's just me, so I don't need to worry about what peg I'm in. The last thing I want to do is fish in between people. I did a session, well, I've done many sessions over the years, and this is how you pick little things up. If you're in between anglers when you're fishing, the chances are they're going to catch more than you are, either side. It's just the way it is, because it's the way the fish move through. I did a session where I was fishing in between two anglers. The person to my right hand side was catching them left, right and centre. The person to my left hand side was getting the odd fish, and I was getting nothing. So I thought, right, what am I doing wrong? And this was years ago. And what was happening was the fish were either coming up or downstream, and the two anglers either side of me were catching. So I thought, right, I'll see where they're putting the baits, whether they're fishing the margin areas and whatnot. And they were pike fishing in the margins. So I thought, right, I'll get a bait, put it out into the middle of the river, a couple of rods, see if I can catch any fish coming through that way. Nothing happened, completely dead. So I thought, I've got to do something. Yeah, I've come to catch fish, I'm not here to be camping. So I ended up going further up past the person on my right hand side. I went about 200 or 300 yards further up the river, and lo and behold, I started catching them, one after another, and the person further downstream who was catching them wasn't getting many bites at all. And it's all about being crafty and working out how you can put the odds in your favour. So like I say, don't ever fish in between people, try and avoid it, try and pick a stretch of river that's nice and quiet, there's not much angling pressure. If you've got anglers half a mile down and half a mile up, that's nothing to worry about. But fishing in between anglers, especially in pike fishing, that can sacrifice your results. You might get lucky and get the odd fish, but most of the time the people either side of you are the ones that are going to sort of reap the rewards. So my advice would be, if you're on a stretch, you've turned up, you're having a look around, you're wondering what peg to fish, bear in mind pike move up and down a river all the time, but if you've got two stop points either side, if you've got baits there, the pike are going to go for those first because they're going to come across them first. So always avoid fishing in between anglers. Try and have your own bit of space, whether it's 400 or 500 yards of water where you're fishing a peg, you've got a nice bit of space further up, nice bit of sort of space further down, there's not much angling pressure. That is how you can do well. But fishing right in between people isn't, yeah, I avoid it at all costs. And that's why sometimes you can see it on rivers as well when you're barbel fishing. You'll have people either side of you, somebody might do better than others, and it's because the sort of fish are coming through, they're catching them before they can get to you. So most of the time anyway, that's why it normally happens. And pike fishing is exactly the same. I've done it so many times, and that's why when you see me do these videos, you'll notice there's not many people fishing nearby. Now you can't forecast what's going to happen, whether an angler's going to come right next to you or further up. That's out of your control, but if you can pick a peg where it's not very comfortable for anglers nearby, then you can put the odds in your favour. And doing it that way has caught me so many more fish. In the early days, I'd look around, I'd see a few anglers, I think, right, that's a popular spot, yeah, it might be worth a go. In my early sort of teens, if you like, and I always used to struggle, I really did. But then as time went on, you pick all these little things up, and then it just puts more fish on the bank. It's more percentages to your fishing, and you always end up catching more because you've used these little things you've picked up over the years, and yeah, you'll catch more fish. So yeah, the best peg to fish is really the one that's not near anybody. You've got your own bit of water in front of you, whether it's a canal, a drain. Lakes can be up and down. You know, you can sort of move around lakes, having a little look around, leapfrogging here and there, but generally speaking, mainly it's rivers and canals and drains. They're the ones. I hope that can help a few people out, because I've had so many people asking me what's the best peg to fish when you go fishing. And I always say, just get out there, try your luck. You might get a few blanks in, that's all part and parcel of it. I blank all the time. But when it comes right and you get amongst some fish, you know, you can have a really good session, and it's all about avoiding angling pressure most of the time, if you can. If the river's stitched up and there's people everywhere, try and get at the most furthest point down at the bottom or the furthest point at the top, so that any fish coming through, they'll come across your bait before anybody else that's on the river. And that will catch you more fish, I know it will. It has me over the years. I've been on rivers before and people have said, how are you catching all these fish? All of us a lot further down, we're not catching anything. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't know, mate, I don't know, mate. And I know why. It's because the pike are travelling down this way on the river, and all the people further down, they're not catching much. It's because they're coming to me first. And it's all about paying attention to where the pike are actually coming through. That's another thing. see where they're coming through. If somebody at the bottom is absolutely hammering it, they're catching pike left, right and centre, you can be crafty and go, right, I'll go 100 yards further down from him, and then you'll catch the fish before they get to him. So crafty, all these little things, you pick them up, keep using them, and you're guaranteed to catch more fish, especially on pressured day ticket waters. So we've come to the end of the video. Not a bad session if I'm honest, a quick overnighter, one pike, that'll do me. I was only expecting to catch 1 or 2 fish anyway. We did have a few issues with eels pecking away at the baits, but all in all it seems that at the moment the river, this particular section, there's not huge amounts of pike coming through. It does seem quiet, and I did a circle hook video not too long ago and we'd spent all day with nothing and then only 1 fish turned up towards the end of the video. So it just goes to show, I think a few weeks time this river will start picking up a bit more, especially this section, and a few more fish will be caught. So yeah, it's now time to head to the Fenland drains, try and catch some monster pike. I've got unfinished business on there. The last session got cut short and it just stumped the fishing completely. We'd had lots of rain, but today looks like it's going to be a different kettle of fish. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get shooting, get wrapping up, and I just want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.